Welcome back, guys, to yet another Dragonflight Alpha video. Again, it's also a World of Warcraft video. I usually say that, but either way, we're back to it. Today, we are going to go over tailoring on the Dragonflight Alpha. Yes, with the new phase 5, we've actually seen engineering, but also tailoring come out on the Alpha. And before we get straight into it, make sure that you guys drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel with all the notifications on, and also I want to thank all the great patrons here over on Patreon. It's, they support the channel, they make everything a little bit easier, and it helps me out greatly. If you are one that potentially might be interested in that, there's always a link down below in the description. But besides that, let's get straight into the video. So, the thing about tailoring is that we actually have something new in tailoring that we have not had before. And what it's called is Dragon Isles Unraveling. Now, before we get into that, I also want to explain for the people that haven't seen any of my alpha videos for how I go over professions. What we do is we go over how the profession looks. We don't actually test it in the videos. That's something that I do on my own time to provide Blizzard with some feedback and see if there's any issues or bugs. And the reason that I also don't put that in the videos is because a lot of it doesn't work. It's also very hard sometimes to get up to certain levels. So to make an easier video and also make it more digestible for you guys, we are just going to talk about what we're actually seeing for different recipes. Now, obviously, there's also specializations, but those are much the same for every profession, just with different names. And we'll go more over those when they get a little more finalized, since they're still in the beginning stage. It's barely finished now. But let's talk about all the recipes. Now, the first most important thing, we've never seen this before in tailoring. It's doing something that we have seen, but the function we've never seen before. And basically what it is, as you can see here, is it unravels 5 cloth from the Dragon Isles, and then it spins it into thread. This will destroy the cloth. Now, obviously, we have had thread crafting before, but we haven't had it like this, kind of similar to prospecting or disenchanting or things like that, right? So this is, a new interesting way of doing it. I was testing it out a couple times, but as you can see, it gives us some spool of wilder thread. So basically, that's just all it does. It takes cloth that you find out in the world, and then you make it into thread. And this is just, one of the new ways of making thread. Now, obviously, we have the bolts, which you can see here with the woven cloth. So instead of having to potentially buy thread from a vendor, which I think we definitely still have to buy certain materials from vendors. You can see here that spool of wilder thread on this optional reagent. That is something that we are straight up crafting with the profession. But in this case, for a lot of this crafted stuff, we're actually going to be able to use the spools of wilder thread. So the thread that we make with that unraveling, which I think is very cool. It's an extra addition for how cloth is used. It's an extra layer. And I think it's a good addition. But as you guys can see, we have woven cloth, which are basically just bolts of cloth. We've seen this before. There are 5 different versions. They seem to be for the different Dragonflights, as we'll see further down as well. We have some optional reagents, and you can see here provides the following property: while above 90% health, gain mastery. So these are optional reagents that it seems like we can put into certain gear pieces. And then again, finishing reagents, we've seen this before. These are something that you apply to items to potentially make them a little better, or you have a specific enchant on them, or whatever it is. So that's just what they are. They're very easy. We've seen these before. Now, for garments, and that's what they call them, obviously, since it's tailoring. In here, they have a bunch of different crafted items, and they're obviously the vibrant wilder cloth, a girdle, and then there's hand wraps, head cover, shawl, shoulder spikes, slacks, which are pants, and obviously slippers, investments, wrist wraps. So a little bit of everything. You have obviously 9 different slots that you're crafting something for, and that's how it's put together. We have our epic crafting or epic crafted gear here as well in tailoring. And then there's obviously the PvP crafted, whatever PvP name it is, wilder cloth gear. and this is obviously, as they say, to be decided. But this is, again, like we've seen in blacksmithing and leatherworking. Again, this is some of the earlier crafted items that people can use while they're leveling up, and that's where that is, basically. And obviously, there's probably going to be some shuffling potentials and vendor shuffling potential and disenchanting potential. But it's pretty much impossible to figure that out right now because we don't really have the opportunity to farm a lot of the materials. But that's how it's put together. We also have some Explorers gear. They have some different sets, as you can see. The Vibrant Wilder Cloth. And then they also have a Sure Weave and they have Chrono Cloth. So it seems like there's a little bit... some different stuff depending on the Dragonflight that you put yourself towards in tailoring, which is an interesting choice. But we'll see how that turns out. We also have some blue crafted gear, and then again some free 95s here with some actual different equip. So we're actually getting some equip bonuses in some of this crafted gear. We even have a set bonus for something like the Assure Weave, and that is your damaging and healing spells and abilities have the chance to invoke latent Assure Weave properties. Dealing damage has the dealing damage has the chance to grant piercing Assure Weave, increasing intellect by 41 for 8 seconds, and healing has the chance to grant flowing Assure Weave, restoring 268 mana per cast for 8 seconds. So basically, these are just small bonuses if you have the set bonus. And I feel like these items are pretty cool. These are probably more for people that won't do raiding at the highest possible level. But they can still get some interesting pieces of gear. And obviously, a lot of these other things have some other ones. You can see this one has, after 2 seconds, your movement charge... your movements charge your next spell cast, granting up to 5 stacks of 13 intellect. So it's very different. And then there's some Chrono Cloth garments. These are also just basically crafted gear up at the high level that have different, again, set bonuses. And then you can also get some different equip, I would imagine, equip bonuses. There it is. So there's a lot of interesting stuff there. And you also have Master's Wilder Cloth Chef's Hat. So obviously these are profession crafted things, which is cool. That's pretty cool. And you can also see that the Dragon Cloth Tailoring Vestments, this one has, you have a chance to occasionally find cloth and dragonkin in the Dragon Isles. So it seems like there's going to be some very, very important things to get. But either way, we're actually, in tailoring, we're making alchemist stuff, we're making enchanting stuff, we're also making cooking stuff, fishing stuff, herbalism stuff as well. And that's actually a lot. That's a lot of different professions. That is interesting. And then we have Spellthread, which are basically leg enchants that we're getting again, which is cool. We're getting leg enchants again in tailoring. That is something that hasn't really been the case fully for quite a long time. So that's interesting. I like that. Yes, absolutely. And then we have our embroidered bags. Now, you can see the regular crafted green bag is going to be 32 slot bags. That's going to be interesting to see because in Shadowlands, obviously, previously, we only had 30 slot bags as the, number 1 version. And we had the lightless silk pouches, which were the 32 slot bags. And it seems like these other ones are the reagent bags. Oh, there's actually a 34 slot bag. So we're going to be able to get 34 slots instead of only 32 as a maximum in the 4 slots. But also, we have the reagent bag, which is our 5th bag slot, which is very, very nice to see. And yeah, then there definitely seems to be as well assorted embroidery. These seems to be, yeah, these are cosmetic things that you can place on the ground or have toys with. Yeah, most of these are actually toys. Oh yeah, this one. I wanted to talk about this one. I saw this when I opened up tailoring. What these do, place down a banner that focuses the will of herbalists, nearby herbalists, granting increased deftness and finesse when gathering for 10 minutes. Only usable in the Dragon Isles, has a 1-hour cooldown. Now obviously we've seen banners before, but it's very interesting that we're going to be able to craft specific banners for profession. Profession gatherers. That's very interesting. I wonder if there's going to be some other ones for crafting related things too, and not only gathering. But we'll definitely see when it comes to that. But that is pretty much everything that tailoring has to offer. There's a couple new things, a couple of returning things, but the really only new thing is obviously the reagent bag. That is completely new. Obviously the profession tools, but those are new for everyone. And then we have a lot more crafted pieces, crafted gear. There's a ton of stuff in tailoring, which we maybe not at this size before. We've had this recently. And then obviously, of course, there is the unraveling, which I personally think that's a very good addition. But yeah, that is going to be it for tailoring. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I went through it in a somewhat good and understandable fashion. If I did, make sure you guys drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel with all the notifications on, and if you did make it this far, make sure you type, what should we say this time? We should say, we said ducks in the previous video, so this time we are going to say no, tailoring's too easy. I don't even know. Drop cake down in the comments below. That took me way too long to figure out. But if you made it this far, you like the videos, and I appreciate you. But either way, I appreciate you guys for watching the video, and until the next one, see you guys.